everybody. Today we're going to have the next tasting of my Tropical Session White IPA. This would be batch 3, and this is using the Nottingham yeast. So what I did was I made a 5-gallon batch and I split it into 5 1-gallon carboys, used different yeast. So for the grain bill, 5 pounds, 8 ounces of 2-row, 4 pounds of white wheat malt. For the boil, for the hops, 1 ounce of Brewer at 60, and that is it. After the boil is over, we're going to whirlpool at 170 for 20 minutes. 0.5 ounces of Amarillo, Centennial, and Citra, and 1 ounce of Galaxy. So let's go ahead and get this open. This was bottled on 7/1, so about 5 months, a little over 5 months old. And this was 5.14% ABV. Okay, yes, good smoke. So the first two, the first batch I used the US05, and then the second batch I used the BRY97 yeast. I'm just going to leave the end in there, see what we get. This one has half a head, so the first one had a full head, the second one didn't have a head. This one has about half a head. White bubbles that I do have, almost all small. I do have a couple mediums sitting in there, not even a quarter finger of head. Color, yellowish, light yellow in color, hazy. I can make out the light box, but I can't see through it. It looks like it's coming through a little bit orangier on your screen that you're seeing. But for the most part, it's like batch 1, the US05. The batch 2 was a little clearer, but we'll see about that in the side-by-side. Let's go ahead and smell. I get that citrus. It's still reminding me of like a grapefruit citrus in there. Maybe a touch of wheat, a touch of malt, a touch of sweetness. Maybe I'm picking up that Galaxy too. Like a passion fruit. But I think, at least in this one, that grapefruit is coming through the most. Now that could have to do with the Galaxy, the passion fruit, something like that, making my brain think it's like a tart grapefruit or something like that. Because when I say grapefruit, my mind goes directly to Centennial. So that's what it does. Again, like I said, I did say it on batch 1 that I was thinking these were going to be fruitier. Now, it is my fault. I did add the Galaxy. I think I added too much, maybe 0.5, or not even put it in there. I almost want to remake this without the Galaxy just to see if it does come across tropical, because all in all, they should smell, taste the same, maybe. That's what I wanted to test out with the yeast, to see what the yeast were going to do to these. And obviously, you can add whatever you want in there. And as long as all of them have it, it should be the yeast that's suppressing or adding or doing something to the beer. So in general, or in this case, it's fine. It's just, I don't want to drink that all the time. I wanted something a little bit more tropical. But enough ranting, let's taste. More malty sweetness in there. I get some like generic citrus, a little bit more bitterness on the back end in my throat. Maybe a touch of floral in there. Like, this beer tastes like it's totally different from any of the other ones. Yeah, it's got like a lightly toasted malt along with some wheat with some sweetness. Like grainy sweetness. Good amount of citrus, bitterness, big bitterness in the back. Grapefruit rind bitterness in the aftertaste lingers. I'm really trying to pick up that Galaxy. And it seems like that grapefruit bitterness in the back is really strong. Might be covering it up. I don't know. I don't know. I don't watch the older reviews before I do the newer ones, so I haven't watched the old ones of this. It feels, though, that this Nottingham yeast is bringing out the malts more. I'll have to go back and watch them. But that's kind of what it seems to me. I'm very surprised about that malt and the malt sweetness. Especially if it was able to cover up that Galaxy. I'm not going to be able to compare them, I don't think. I did make some other beers with Nottingham. So I'll have to go back and look to see if I've done the reviews or if they're still waiting for me to do them, to see if those taste more malty with some sweetness in them. Because, yeah, I'll have to go back and do that. This isn't bad. I don't think this would be one that I would make. Maybe I could see Nottingham working in a double IPA. If you like that big malty sweetness, like that syrupy malt sweetness, it might bring that out some more. But I think for a session, you don't want that. I wouldn't say it drinks heavier. It just has those tastes that at least I refer to as being a double IPA or something like that. And that's not what I want in this beer. So, yeah, so far this one would be on the back end of the ratings, but we will do a side-by-side once I'm all done. So, yeah, if you've made something like this or used the Nottingham yeast, leave a comment down below. And if you like this video, check some more out over here. And until next time, happy brewing.